What a shitload of fuck. Right when I thought we had all agreed that the nerd wasn't good anymore, I make this video talking about the state of Cinemassacre, and then everybody shits on me. What the fuck? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, that was something that I wasn't expecting. I upload a video about the state of Cinemassacre 2023, just like I had done last year, State of Cinemassacre 2022. And, you know, I'm like on the Cinemassacre truth forums and shit. I don't like read all the crap they have to say and then rip it off, which is something that they accuse me of, which is like silly, because like I literally jump on there when somebody posts one of my videos on there just to see what people are saying. But I'm not like gleaning all the information to be like, oh, let me make my next nerd video and become a millionaire in ad revenue. It's like, no, I just go on there for fun or whatever. But yeah, I mean, even they were just like, I just don't like this guy. He's a fucking douchebag. I just don't like his hair. I don't like his face. I don't like just anything about him. And, you know, normally they have my back. It looks like I'm jerking off again. I'm not. I'm cleaning the screen of my phone off. But, yeah, so it wasn't all like dissing me or whatever. There's a lot of people for the most part who are positive. But, you know, as a human beings, I think we like to focus on the negative shit, and that's what I do. I told you last stream, I'm a negative fuck, and concentrating on negativity. I'm about that life. Let me just read these chats real quick so I don't ignore it. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Shout out to Pine Vinyl. Love what they do. Yeah, so let's see here. Where are my truthers at? Yep. I'm sure there's some in the chat. Thank you, Gonzalo Firpo, for 75. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you. I don't know what that is. Is that Bitcoin? Yeah, so, all right, cool. Got all that figured out. But yeah, no, so like, yeah, I make this video about the basically just like I wanted to see, because like I don't when James puts out an Angry Video Game Nerd episode, it pops up in my feed, so I read it or I watch it or whatever. And I don't watch any of his other stuff. None of his other stuff pops up in my feed, and quite frankly, I just don't have an interest in looking at it. So I watch his nerd videos or whatever, and they're just, you know, it's the standard fare nowadays. It's the standard James fare. It's the forced acting, phoned in performances, jokes not nearly as, you know, hitting it nearly as hard as the old episodes. The anger, that's the big thing that everyone talks about. The anger is just clearly not there anymore. And so I watch these videos, and it's like, okay, you know, it's another nerd episode. There's been like over 200 of them, so it's getting hard to like wow me at this point. And so then at the end of the year, on Christmas actually, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But so at the end of the year, I'm like, well, let me look at all the other stuff he's done on his channel and see if any of it was like any good, you know, because it's been a whole year since I've looked at any of his other content. So I go on there and I'm like watching through some of the miscellaneous videos and some of the Tony and James or John. Yeah, I named him Tony in the video as a joke, but because he looks like a fucking Tony. He looks like James Bodyguard. I think he is James Bodyguard, but that's just a rumor I'm starting with no evidence to back it up whatsoever. Watched that. I was like, okay, this is boring. You know, just like James and Mike Mondays was boring. I watched the Monster Madness, like the Steve Urkel one. Like, first of all, James Rolfe's, can we talk about this? James Rolfe's favorite sitcom of all time is Family Matters. Like, Family Matters was an okay show, don't get me wrong, and I definitely am around the same age as James. He's probably like 5 or 6 years older than me. But I definitely watched the TGIF shit growing up. The Full House, the Family Matters, Step by Step. Remember that one? Step by step, day by day, fresh start over, something. Anyway, I think that was the first time I heard anyone say the word horny on TV. Because Frank, the husband, he was like, I'm horny or something. I don't know. That's an aside. But yeah, out of all the sitcoms, not Seinfeld, not Friends, not even, I don't like Friends, but Seinfeld's great. Not any of that stuff. Family Matters is his favorite sitcom. Okay. All right. It just felt like just another one of those Miller Boyett sitcoms that were out in the early to mid 90s that they were just like popping out like a fucking factory, because they were all very similar. But yeah, so that was one of James's Monster Madness, was about Family Matters and Steve Urkel and some Chucky like mannequin that comes to life, and I was like, okay, well, that's not for me. That's not my kind of content, whatever. And then he had his miscellaneous videos, which I enjoyed solely because Red Cow would do a video on some of them, and I fucking love Red Cow Entertainment. I recommend you guys check them out. I don't know. Frankie is infinitely more intelligent in the way that he is able to break down these things than I am. I don't know. But yeah, so he did the writing of an AVGN episode. I covered all this in the video, but I feel the need to do some kind of post-mortem on this. And I feel like my attitude towards everything was just kind of like, yeah, it's just all kind of, whatever, man. Like I've gone on to greener pastures. I have channels I find more entertaining now that I just found one way or another. Like I said in my last stream, Todd in the Shadows does consistently good content. Just video essay stuff I really like. Gamer from Mars's content I really like. Too Lazy to Try, Turkey Tom, like a little bit of drama channels. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of drink that shit up. But yeah, so I released a video on Christmas, and my family is weird now, our dynamic. We did our Christmas on Christmas Eve. So on Christmas, A, I worked that night, and B, there was nothing, I had nothing going on. And I happened to wake up early, so I was like, let me finish this video and just put it out on Monday. And I totally forgot it was Christmas. And at first, I think it was just my initial subscribers that saw the video. And it was kind of like, good response, like, thanks for making this. Oh, cool, another video about this. This is why I subscribe to you, is the nerd, yada, yada, yada. And then, like, as I saw within an hour, it was at, like, a couple thousand views. I'm like, oh, shit, this video is going to do well. And all the haters are going to come pouring in. And that's exactly what happened. And then I started thinking, okay, I released this video on Christmas. A lot of people are in their feelings on Christmas, and usually not in a good way. For one reason or another, people are sad, lonely. Maybe they're reminded of a dead relative, or maybe they live in a city where their family isn't at. And I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people are probably watching the nerd on Christmas it's like comfort food, to make them feel good or make them feel comforted, because they can't be with their family or they're sad or whatever. And then here my video comes out, and I'm basically like saying, yeah, he's not very good anymore, and he's pretty mid, and most of his stuff he did this last year kind of sucked. And I think the timing of my video was what got me a lot of the hateful comments as well. And another thing I was thinking about, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, for people who watch a guy who literally takes shits on video games, curses like a sailor, does all kinds of other, controversial stuff or whatever. Man, these people sure do get triggered by a guy with like highlighted teal hair and some piercings. it's weird how you're able to, it's, if it wasn't for the fact that they were defending a guy who says shitload of fuck and I'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk, if it wasn't for the fact that that's what the people were defending, I would think there was a bunch of like born again, like very evangelistic Christians in my comment section. Like they were so like, the people commented, it's like, guys, you are so conservative. Like, and I'm not talking about politically, I'm talking about like the fact that some dude with colored hair and some piercings triggers you that much. Like, you must be fuming. You must be maulding anytime you go out to a bar or something, or to even out to the mall, or and you see, because like everybody's got colored hair and tattoos and piercings nowadays. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And it's really not that uncommon. And I just love to think about how mad these people must be in their everyday life. They're just like, oh, look at all these people with dyed hair and piercings. God, I'm so mad. You're all gay. Except me. I'm not gay. I'm so fucking straight and alpha. Like, shit's so silly, dude. And corny as well. But yeah, so that's kind of what I have to say about that video. I was really surprised that A, it did so well, and B, that it got so much like hate. Even like I almost got ratioed, bro. I think I'm at like 63% like positive, and that's way low for my channel. Normally, like I'm like in the 90% positive ranking or whatever. So for it to be like that low, like I definitely like reached outside of my normal sphere of people who watch my shit, and I'm reaching people who don't know who I am. I got like 200 subscribers from that video. So some people liked it. But yeah, it's really weird like having like a bunch of strangers just tell you how much like they hate you and how much they like hate how you look and all that. Mildly upsetting, but not enough to like stick with me, because then I go touch some grass, as they say. I go out into the real world and interact with real people who are like decent individuals, and I'm like, oh, that's just internet people who act like fucking 5-year-olds who would never say any of this to my face, but behind a keyboard, you know, I guess they think it's fun to see me and see that my hair is colored differently and be like, you're gay. All right, whatever. All right, let me read some of these comments, because I see them piling up here. Big Frankie fan, by the way. Me too. Oh, I should probably say your name. Some kind of kanji looking Manu. All right. Hiss, wet diaper rules, blah, 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 blah. The truth, Kravis 63, the truth forum can be fun, but there are a lot of nutcases on there too. Doesn't surprise me their opinions were all over the place in your video. I'm telling you that like a lot of those people just personally like don't like me because of how I look. It's really weird. Like the physical appearance comments are really like I think overly done with me. I don't quite get that. Manu, you're in the right. To be honest, I agree with most of what you say. Thank you. Andrew Kev, assholish variety of criticism is the one I love the most. Peace Watcher, he probably attends anger management classes, which does not help his performance. Who, James Rolfe? I don't think he's that angry of a guy. I don't think he's ever been that angry of a guy. I think he just turns it on. And for some reason, he was a lot better at turning it on when he was younger, and his life is balanced. I mean, good for him, honestly. Like, I'm happy for the guy. I bet he's very happy in his own life. He's doing the right thing. He's living his life, you know, enjoying his family, making these videos to make a living or whatever, and that's great for him, but I'm still allowed to criticize it. It doesn't mean I have anything against James personally. I don't know the fucking guy, you know? Of course I don't have anything against him personally. But I really don't think he's that angry. I think when he was younger, because I read his book, and he did have some anger issues as a kid, but like I think he grew out of that. Anyway, TV anthology reviews. The haters are still giving you AdSense. And that's what I kept saying. Anytime people be like, they think they're like dunking on me by like calling me gay or making fun of my hair or whatever. It's like, thank you for engaging in my video. Honestly, like, thank you, because you've just like boosted up the algorithm that much more, you know? I don't know why people don't understand this, but if you truly want to like cancel someone or make someone irrelevant, just stop talking about them and don't watch their shit. And they will quickly fade out of existence. But people can't help themselves. Like, they can't just shut the fuck up. They've got to come in with their little opinions and just continue to signal boost my channel. With that being said, though, I don't love being, involved in all this kind of like drama shit. I know, oh, that's Rich. You say you don't like it, but yet you do these. Look, I could not pass up the opportunity to do the State of Cinemassacre 2023. I have a bunch of ideas for videos, some of them that you guys gave me on my last live stream. The next video I'm going to do is about fucking Chris Gaines, Garth Brooks' emo alternative character that he did in the 90s. That was a complete fucking laughingstock. Like, that to me is interesting. It's fascinating that a country artist would have done something like that. So I don't plan on like doing like covering any more of this like super like YouTube e-celeb drama shit anytime after this nerd video that I just released. So it's not like this is going to be my like my what do they call it on the not shill when you're trying to peddle something, not huckster, although that term would work. Anyway, I'm not doing that. So moving on. Robakla. So it's probably best I cancel a Rex Viper concert I had planned for your birthday. Yeah, I would do that. I don't think, unless my birthday's at a gaming convention, I don't think Rex Viper will be playing my birthday, because they only stick to places that they are comfortable with, which are gaming conventions. If Rex Viper took that show to a normal club, it would probably still do good just by virtue of the fact that nerd fans would come out. But like, say they opened, this would be so fucking funny. Let's say like Rex Viper went on tour with like Kill Switch Engage and opened up for their audience. And maybe there's like 100 nerd fans amongst the 5,000 fans in the room. Dude, Rex Viper would get booed off the stage so fucking fast if it were like a normal, like legit band and not this jokey kind of whatever band. But anyway, don't get me on that topic again. Reaper, Channel 90, the Final Fantasy episode was actually not bad. Otherwise, I totally agree. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. You know, it was just like, to me, it was like someone doing like a walkthrough for a game and just kind of explaining the inner workings of like, and then you choose this character and then you do this. And that's like, okay, well, so like the Earthbound one is one I keep coming back to. Like, that was like the last episode he did that I thought was truly great. Like, I really liked his Earthbound episode. He put a lot of work into it, a lot of heart. I felt like it was an example of him talking about a good game, but it was still a good video, which is a risk for him. Because if he's talking about a good game and just giving it praise, like, there's a chance that it just won't be as compelling as a shitty game that like is clearly not good. So yeah, man, the censoring thing is so weird. Who would watch that? Yeah, that is really weird. And they only did the first season. So are they going to go through all the seasons and edit out all the swears? And then why use that loud beep sound? I know that's like the go-to standard like 90s like swear sound to bleep out a swear word, but there are so many better sounds. You could either mute the audio, which is the best way, I think, or use a different sound. But man, that loud beep, like that shit, especially during the shit pickle episode, it was like, my God, this is unlistenable. What's up, Simon Matthew Robinson? Everything has an expiration date. After a while, you're just manufacturing what was once fresh and genuine. Yep, that's what I've been saying this whole time. James is living in fear of Kieran. I don't know. Maybe he needs Kieran's help to write some scripts again. Rose Dower's AVGN has been on a cringy, low effort for years. Good to see you doing another live stream. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, Step by Step was the one with Patrick Duffy, yeah. Let's see here. Big Dancing with Ghosts fan, by the way. Well, thanks, Dean H. Sorry I just blew vape into your face, which is another douchey thing I'm aware that I do. But it's better than smoking cigarettes. Gonzalo Firpo, Doom video was only good one for last era. I agree, the Doom one was good. I didn't like it as much as the Earthbound one, but that was a good video, although it was like, man, is he really talking about Doom again? I don't know if he'd ever talked about Doom. I think he did when he was talking about, like, the Jaguar, or, yeah, he was seeing how Doom runs on all the various systems, I think. Let's see. Oh, we got a super chat. Jared Richard, honestly, his best videos is when he's talking about old movies. That's clearly his passion. Love your content, by the way. Thank you, Jared Richard. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know he definitely does have a passion for old movies, but I don't. So, like, Doug Walker, for instance, Nostalgia Critic. Like, I will watch one of his videos if he's talking about a movie that I've seen and have a lot of opinions on, because I want to see what Doug Walker's opinions are of it. Except for when it came to The Wall. That was the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. Like, The Wall is a brilliant movie with a brilliant fucking soundtrack, and Doug Walker is, man, what an L take that video was. Jesus, that video alone just got him, like, he lost so much credibility in so many people's eyes. Like, are you fucking nuts? Tyson, Malcolm in the Middle is the best sitcom. It was a very good one. It was a really good. I definitely watched it when I was a early teen. And then, of course, you got the wonderful Bryan Cranston, who went on to do my favorite show of all time, which is Breaking Bad. I don't know if it's between The Sopranos and Breaking Bad as to, like, my favorite show of all time. When it comes to, like, drama, the drama genre. So I don't know. They're both so. I came to the Sopranos so fucking late. I watched it for the first time like 3 years ago, and that show came out in the late 90s. Like, what the fuck? But we didn't have HBO. Nobody I knew. Well, my aunt had it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like a privileged thing to have like HBO and Cinemax for how I grew up or whatever. So yeah, I wasn't able to watch Sopranos, and I didn't buy the box sets or anything. I'll see here. Scorp, the Jekyll and Hyde video triggered me a lot because the whole video has tons of very bad audio processing that makes it sound like it's being played inside of a suitcase in the bathroom. Dude, you are so on point with that. I was going to say that in my nerd video, and I didn't find a good way to put it into the script, so I just left it out. But yeah, dude, the audio was so fucking bad on the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde video. Like, clearly he's using a lavalier mic. That's the clip-on mic that you put on inside your shirt. And I think he just, like, he, like, crammed it too deep into his shirt because the audio sounded like this the whole time for the whole episode. It was so fucking bad. And I was like, dude, he's been doing this for so long. How is he still fucking up this bad? Oh, another super chat. Pink Pools, thank you for exposing Pat the cringe punk. It was my pleasure, Pink Pools. Like I said, with the Pat thing, it's like I had been watching the dude for so long, and there was so many things about him that just like collectively started bothering me over time. And I was like, all right, I just need to collectively make a video talking about this guy because he's nice. Peace Watcher donated $5.40. Well, I do have the time to read this. Dancing with Ghosts for the win. Thank you very much, Peace Watcher. Appreciate that. But yeah, the audio on that Jekyll and Hyde thing was fucking crap. Fucking crap. Red Cow is a shit big Frankie fan, by the way. Yeah, I agree. You know, Frankie has a whole ass audiobook about the making of his movie Having Fun Up There, which I recommend. If you like to listen to Frankie talk, which I do, I recommend listening to that audiobook. It's on their, should be on their Red Cow website. Those dudes have hustled so hard, and they deserve like so much more exposure than what they have. I feel bad. Like, they definitely deserve more exposure than I do. I thought exposure. Yeah, that was a cringy thing I just said. Rain, bro, you're awesome. I freaking love the shirt. Would be awesome to see your band live. Thank you, dude. These live chats are wholesome as fuck. It reinstates my faith in YouTube and humanity to a certain degree, because there's nothing but positivity on here, and there's nothing but negativity in the comment section sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Bobo Booey. You mean Baba Booey? What instrument do you play? I mainly play guitar these days, but I can play, I started off on bass guitar. Well, I started off on drums. Had a set of Tama Rockstar. That's just the name of them. I'm not calling myself a rock star or anything. Tama Rockstar kit. Got pretty good at drums, but kind of stopped playing them because honestly, playing drums is fucking boring if you don't have someone to jam with. Then I started playing bass. That's where I got into my first few bands, was playing bass. I got pretty good at that too. I started doing all the fancy Les Claypool popping and slapping shit. But when you play rock music, there's really no place for that unless you're the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Primus. So then finally I moved on to guitar because you can write songs easiest with guitar. Oh, let me not have my screen shake because someone bitched about that last time. They're like, how are you going to make fun of... I forget what who he was saying I was making fun of. He's like, how are you going to make fun of such and such, and your screen was shaking the whole time in your last live stream? So let me appeal to that peckerhead and not kick. It probably is annoying, in all honesty, for the screen to constantly be shaking. It's when I put my foot on this table that it does that. Anyway, let's see here. Scrolling through them comments. You don't care. Point and Shoot is also a good drama channel about No Jumper and Adam 16 collapse. Yeah, the whole thing is like, what, his wife like slept with some porn star, and I actually watched the video. I watched the video that his wife did with that big old black dude porn star guy who hung like a goddamn tree trunk. I will say, that video, those of you who don't know, Adam 22 is this guy who hosts this show, No Jumper. It's like a YouTube channel, and I don't know if it's a podcast as well, but it's a YouTube channel where he basically started interviewing like all the hot up-and-coming rappers, and he's, white guy, just tatted up, face tattoos and all that, but he's like probably like older. He's probably in his like 40s. He's got this very even-keeled demeanor about him, and he's got this wife who I think did OnlyFans or something. So I don't know the full story, but like, anyway, she ends up, and with his blessing, fucking this porn star guy, and Adam 22 just got completely lambasted on Twitter and everywhere else. Everyone was calling him like the biggest cuck on the internet, and he just had to like take all that abuse, and that will always be part of his reputation now. But I did watch the porno that she was in, and it was awkward because you could tell that like her heart wasn't in it. She was just kind of doing it for clout or doing it to do it, and like it just seemed, I know like most porn is fake, but this was especially fake. It was awkward to watch, and I still came and everything, but it was ill-begotten. No, I'm just joking. I think I looked at that for a little bit, and I looked at something else. Yeah, I look at porn, so what? Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. B. Smith, I support you completely, Ghost. James can shit all over everyone else's stuff, but you can't dare criticize Bimmy. Yeah, I know. That's always the funny thing about him is that's the perpetual irony of James Rolfe, is that he made a living shitting on stuff that other people made. He would not be where he's at if it wasn't for other people making content. And all the people who criticize James, like myself, Red Cow, many other channels, we get all these dick riding comments. We get all these clout chasing comments. And the irony is just not at all lost on me, but apparently it's lost on these fucking idiots who don't understand that, like, your God that you worship so much, James, like, it's almost like, dude, somebody made this game. Video games don't just materialize out of the ether, you know, like, there was a team of people who worked really hard on that game, or maybe they didn't work that hard on it, and that's why it sucks. But either way, he has definitely criticized some games that weren't nearly as fucking bad as he said they were. Like that Street Fighter 2010 game that he did. I loved that game growing up. Yeah, it was hard, but it was a good-ass game. It was made by Capcom, and, you know, he was like, it's just like, I don't know. Anyway. Some of these comments, swear to God. Turbo Queer. I disagreed with you, but you don't deserve hate. No creators above criticism, not even AVGN. Oh, yeah. So you had left some kind of thing, some kind of dissenting comment in my nerd video. I remember watching it just literally because your screen name, Turbo Queer, caught my attention because I thought it was like, well, that's a unique name. You actually had kind of a well thought out thing. It wasn't just you like hating just to hate. Like anybody who had like a well thought out, like measured response, I gave them the time of day until it got to like 600 comments. And I'm like, I even if it is a measured positive comment, I cannot answer all these. This has gotten way too crazy. But back when it was like a manageable number of comments, I would give people the time of day who took a balanced response to me. But if they were just literally like being trolls, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's see here. Ducko. Fucko, I just lost you. Where'd you go, Ducko? There's super chats not popping up. It's all going to shit. Oh my God, so many things to read. So little time. Where the man, you make one wrong move in these comments section. In the live chat, you make one wrong move and it just scrolls away and it's gone. Now I lost my place. Oh Jesus. Grifter, yeah, grifter. That's the word I was thinking of. My God, there's so many fucking comments, dude. I want to read all these, but there are so many. I'm trying to find where I left off here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so we got to the bad audio. Okay, moving past this. Peace watcher going to blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys. I'm literally trying to get back to where I was. I moved the little scroll thing, and it just completely threw me off. Okay. All right. Well, I lost Ducko, but... figure drawing. You're an a-hole towards James, but no one should be mad about it. James is washed up, like you said, but he needs to make money. Paraphrasing. Okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say there, buddy. All right. Reading. Yeah. Grifter. I'm trying to not be a grifter as well as I was trying to say earlier. David Stanley's got some shows. Frasier, Seinfeld, Mad About You, Party of Five. Never really watched Frasier, but I heard it was good. I did watch Mad About You when I was younger, but couldn't tell you if I liked it or not. And Party of Five, that was like way before my time. My aunt watched Party of Five when I was a kid. It was like a teeny bopper show, but for grown-ups, right? You had Party of Five, and there was like another one, Melrose Place. Yeah, those two shows. Yeah. Big Daddy DK, you ever play Elden Ring? Nope, I have not. But I will say from the chat, I want to thank you guys because I downloaded Age of Empires 2 since the last live stream. That game fucking rocks. I wasted like 2.5 hours of my life yesterday just playing Age of Empires, and it was great. Like, I said that I liked RTS games, like real-time strategy, and you guys, like, hooked me the fuck up by recommending that game. I got it off of Steam, and it's really fun. Let me see here. Turbo Queer. I'm just going to read anything Turbo Queer says because I just like saying Turbo Queer. Do you like the 1980s emo band Rites of Spring? Never heard of them. Yeah, they did have emo in the 80s. People don't seem to people think emo's like was invented in the mid 2000s. It was not. It's Always Sunny in Pahoja. LOL, the lead singer of Dancing with Ghosts is far more likable than 99% of everyone at Cinemassacre. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. A lot of people in my video that I posted definitely did not feel that way. All right, this is a pretty good point. Bosco26726. The problem with him doing games like Final Fantasy is how much can you actually add that hasn't already been said by every retro gaming channel. That's kind of the whole problem with AVGN in general. Yeah, I mean, that's how I felt about it too. It's like, oh, you're going to talk about how great Final Fantasy 6 is, or 3, or what do you want to call it? It's like, wow, what a hot take that is. What are you going to talk about next? How GoldenEye 007 is a really fun first-person shooter. You know, it's like, no shit. You know, it's like, that's kind of why I opted out of becoming a video game YouTuber, is because like I felt like I really didn't have anything to add that hadn't already that people weren't already like going to be talking about, you know? And it's like, why watch my channel when I only had like 2,000 subscribers? Why watch my channel when I make a video about video game review about Mega Man when you could watch I almost said the completionist. That would have been a faux pas. You know, you could watch any other, you know, YouTuber who has, you know, better. Well, I had good production even back in the day, but there's this thing, and I do it too, where like if you go to a channel and they only have a couple, like maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, you're generally gonna write that channel off as being like not high quality. But if you look at a video and it's already got like 300,000 views, you're gonna be more like, well, I'm speaking for myself at this point. If I see a video with a lot of views, I will assume that it's of good enough quality that the algorithms have boosted it up to the top. And I guess that's my problem as a musician too. Like when it comes to me listening or finding new bands, I only stick to the mainstream shit that I grew up listening to. I need to get my head out of my ass and check out some more underground bands. But I don't claim to be Anthony Fantano. I'm not a hipster, you know, so I'm not always looking for the hottest underground sensation. Melee Games, Super Chat. Mike Matei is the real AVGN. It becomes clear the more you watch his live streams. Yeah, everyone said that. Everyone says that like the character was based off of Mike and he's the real gamer and all that. I definitely think James plays video games and has played video games his whole life. But would James ever do a streaming channel where he just streams video games like Mike does? No, I don't think he would. I think James steals away, you know, the couple of like maybe the 30 minutes of free time he has during any given day, and he might play like 30 minutes of a game, and then he has to like be a dad and all that shit, which is fine, you know, whatever. But I think when him and Mike were collaborating more closely, the quality of the videos were much higher. Let me see. Martin Svensson, are you Swedish? I view it as a blend of his audience growing up and the new potential audience aren't into it. Like you, I still watch new AVGN stuff when it comes, but safe to say I don't do the season recaps. Yeah. I've definitely grown out of it. Or maybe it's just not, I don't know, dude. I go back and watch some of those old ones and I'm like, I find myself genuinely laughing at some of the older ones. And I used to like rewatch those old episodes. When I first found out about AVGN back in like 2014, I like watched the fuck out of like the first like 100 episodes or so. That was like my show when I would like sit down and eat lunch or whatever, and I just wanted to put something on. Like AVGN was like my comfort food because he's talking about games that I grew up playing. And it was funny, and I don't know. It had a charm to it that's missing now. Let's see here. Kartoffelkuchen. Oh, Kartoffelkuchen. That's German, 1992. Like many other shows, the longer they go, the harder it is to keep content interesting. I hope for James he can move on from AVGN as primary source of revenue onto fresh projects. Probably never going to happen, honestly. But, you know, it would be interesting to see if he ever does. But, dude, how? And have you noticed in like the newer episodes, like he's finding more and more creative ways to hide his hairline? Like the Kid Icarus one, he's wearing like that wreath or whatever around his head, and then the Santa one, he's wearing a Santa hat, and it just seems like he's finding more and more ways where he can like hide his receding hairline instead of just embracing it and just embracing the bald. Gus Champion. AVGN is in his 90s hairband phase. Do enough to keep the brand alive and try to play the hits the best you can. That's a good analogy. Because when the hair bands went into the 90s, dude, their shit tanked. Like, it was... Todd in the Shadows has this saying, like, here's another installment of Nirvana destroyed my career. It's true. When Nirvana came out, yeah, it just completely destroyed the careers of so many 80s bands. And I don't know, maybe you could say, like, Scott the Woz was the guy who did that for AVGN. I don't know. Scott the Woz has the... I mean, I watched a few of his videos back in the day. He kind of had the newer humor that appeals to like Gen Z more so. I don't know. What's your opinion of Scott the Woz? I think he's all right. Turbo Queer. I'll catch the VOD after this. I'm wondering if my comment will pop up in his hate comments. I tried to keep it civil. I'm boring. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by, Turbo Queer. I like the SpongeBob dolphin squeak for censoring. Yeah, you can do you can do a chicken clucking. You can do a bunch of different nice censoring sounds rather than that beep, that loud ass shit that's an affront to my ears. Michael Thompson at Danzig. Is this true? If it is, that's awesome. Dances with Ghosts. You know how many people fuck up the pronunciation of my band name and call it Dances with Ghosts? If I could go back and somehow prevent Kevin Costner from being born so that way he couldn't do Dances with Wolves, then I would, because that's what people, that's their reference point, is Dances with Wolves, so they call me Dances with Ghosts. Like, we get this all the time in real life. He says, I'm going to start telling girls he liked one of my comments once. Jesus Christ. Calm down there, buddy. Ain't that cool. Man. Got all kinds of turned around here. Xavier E., my brother and I were at the Portland Gaming Expo and met Fat Gengar. He claimed that their Blockbuster video made Blockbuster famous again because it got over 1 million views. That sounds like something that Justin would fucking say. The ego of these people, man, of Screenwave. Like, the fucking ego. Let's see. Zach's Guitar Hacks. Hey, good on you. Guitar player in here. The nerd needs more time to practice. One day he might find that. It's a little embarrassing to watch him on that stage. Now, I will say with the last video, and I didn't really bring this up in the video, like, I can tell, like, he had gotten a little tighter with his rhythm playing. So, like, but, I mean, he's playing basic power chords. He's not, I mean, he's a rhythm guitarist in the truest sense. He's not doing anything that takes a whole lot of talent. Like, his lead guitarist that's the one that needs to be practicing. Like, good lord, that guy, I don't know what his deal is. I blow clouds on live stream too, and I'm a middle-aged woman, so it's like extra cringe. LRU Parazzo. Yeah, it is cringe. But what are you gonna do? It's better than smoking a fucking cigarette, you know what I mean? I smoked cigarettes for from age 14 to 24, and I'm so glad I quit that shit. It's just fucking disgusting, dude. The Russian Fazbear. The censorship was supposedly Bimmy making a statement of satire of weird TV censorship, but it was just another example of a joke getting stretched way too thin. Why didn't they make that more apparent? Because everyone's telling me that, oh yeah, it's play on how he thinks. Yeah, that, I mean, but like, you could have at least made some kind of mention that that's what you were doing, because it just seemed to me, I don't know. I mean, it was clearly a joke, but anyway. Oh, you got to, did I already read this? Rain, $5, super chat. Bring a candle to Dancing with Ghosts. Bring a roll of toilet paper to Ass Wiper. All right. Okay, so we got people weighing in on the shows here. Sopranos, hands down. It's a toss-up between Breaking Bad and Sopranos. They are both legendary shows. It's hard to choose. I will say, though, with Breaking Bad, you got Better Call Saul as well, which is also a really great show. So they tried to do the Sopranos, the Many Saints of Newark or whatever, the prequel, and it was okay. It didn't really focus on James Gandolfini's character Tony that much. I did find it interesting, though. Spoiler alert, that Uncle Junior was the one who killed Christopher whatever his fucking last name. He killed Christopher's father. Uncle Junior was the one who did it. Like, I thought that was crazy, because in The Sopranos they say that it was a cop that killed Christopher's father, but according to the prequel, it was Uncle Junior, because of he embarrassed Uncle Junior when he slipped and busted his ass. Or like, that was kind of a weak, like, revisionist kind of thing about how Christopher's dad was murdered. Anyway, Breaking Bad is good, though. It's just not The Sopranos. Breaking Bad and The Wire. Dude, I tried to watch the first season of The Wire, and it was so boring to me. I couldn't really get into The Wire. By season 2, I was like, they were like on a sailboat or something. It was, I don't know. I couldn't get into that show. Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard books in the background. Yep. Those are L. Ron Hubbard books. I am a Scientology watcher. I'm obsessed with the cult of Scientology. And the book underneath the L. Ron Hubbard one is actually because this is like a L. Ron Hubbard Messiah or Madman. It's like an expose on L. Ron Hubbard. But the book underneath it, this is an actual Scientology book that you would read if you join Scientology. I, of course, have never read it because fuck that shit, but yeah. Bosco 26726. People claim the bad audio was on purpose for nostalgia, but that doesn't translate when the video footage is crystal clear widescreen HD. No, that's people just defending his ineptitude at audio production after doing this character for fucking 15 years. That's bullshit. That was a poorly placed lavalier mic is what that was. Anthony Scrima, yeah, some of the people in that last video comment were mad. Oh, they were malding, man. They were really fucking mad. They were crying and pissing all at the same time. And MK Solid to 82, did Pat the A's Punk get mad? I don't know if Pat Pat hasn't responded to my shit yet. I don't think he's going to, honestly. If it got to 100K views, he'd probably respond to it, but I think I'm still too like Bush League for Pat to respond. It would do nothing but boost my profile if he talked about me, so I get him not responding to that. Pine Vinyl. Oh, Pine Vinyl. I do appreciate you sticking me in the comics or the animations that you've done. But fucking Frank and EJ got their own custom fan art or drawing or whatever, and I'm over here like, well, Pine Vinyl fucks with me too. Where's my drawing? But then again, I did get into one of your cartoons, and they did not. What I call it? Is it a cartoon? Is that the right word for it? Is that too old school calling it a cartoon? Animation? I don't know. Big Daddy DK, what are your thoughts on Enya? I like Enya. I think they're a good ambient, new age, new whatever band group of the 90s. Let's see here. Reading through these comments, trying to find one to read. I'm trying to find someone to breed with. That was weird. That was a weird thing to say. That's something I would have edited out had this been an edited video, but it's live, so I said it, and there it is. I'll never really watch the nerd. More exposure, which is great. At Dancing with Ghosts, play a song for us live right now. I don't know. Should I? I don't know what I'd play. I'd have to think about a good one. Certainly not playing one of my songs. And my voice isn't warmed up, and it's live, and I criticized Rex Viper so much, and I've talked so much shit about so many musicians. For me to do a song live right now, it would have to be like 100% perfect, because someone would clip it and they'd make a video about me and they'd be like, he says all this shit about the lead singer of Rex Viper, yet this is him when he tries to do shit. And, you know, I'm not hyped up. I'm not at a show. My vocals aren't warmed up. You got to catch me live to get the full experience. I like singing with an electric guitar. Acoustic isn't my wheelhouse. There's acoustic performances on my channel. Go to my channel, go down to the Dancing with Ghosts tab, scroll, and you will find me and my singer Ari doing a cover of Ghost Square Hammer, of doing a cover of Stop Dragging My Heart Around by Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks, did a cover of a Youngblood song. He's this newer artist anyway. All right, let's keep scrolling here. Pink Pools, do you like shoegaze? Not really. I tried to get into it because it was like alt rock adjacent, and I thought that, hey, this is something that I could get into. I don't know. I gave the Stone Roses a try and some of those other bands, and it was kind of boring to me. Hey guys, remember to smash that like button. I'm looking at it right now, and it probably has more than 6 likes, but from where I'm sitting, it says I only have 6 thumbs up on here. I probably need to refresh the screen. I probably have more than that, but whatever. That just seems like something you're supposed to say when you live stream. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay, do we have someone who's defending James here? Mr. Monster, I love even the new angry video game nerd stuff, and his old videos are still there to enjoy in all their uncensored glory. Nonetheless, I don't see anything bad from your criticisms. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, dude, people are allowed to like it. People are allowed to like every single thing he does, but I'm also allowed to criticize it. So, I mean, like, if someone likes the new shit, that's great. Like, good for you. That's fine. But I'm also allowed to, like, talk shit about it. M85, I finally gave Primus a chance at 30 years old. I dig it. Funky. Sweet. Yeah, you should listen to, Pork Soda was my gateway album into Primus. Pork Soda was like, I had never heard anything like that. Like, I didn't know you were allowed to play the bass guitar that way. It was fucking awesome. I remember when I first heard it as a teenager. And I feel bad because during one of my tier videos, I gave their Green Naugahyde, I gave it a poor score, but I went back and listened to that album. That's one of their newer ones, and that album's that fucking great too. I don't know why I was such a fucking dick to that album, because it was actually really good. Let's see here. It's bizarre to me how someone like Pat the NES Punk doesn't have to work a real day job. Where does his money come from? MK Solid 82. Some people have said that Pat has like some benefactor, like a rich uncle or something. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I don't know. San Diego is fucking expensive, and the dude's got like 200,000 subscribers. Some of his videos have some high views, but there's no way that guy makes enough in ad revenue to support living on his own in San Diego. So I think he has his books, but he's lived in San Diego way before he put his book out. And it's not like he had some bustling merch store or anything like that. Like, I don't know how he made the money to live in. Yeah, I think he's got some kind of a rich uncle. Let me see. Simon Robinson, LRH book in the back, still amusing. If negativity gets too much, get your ass on the E-meter and exercise those demons from your skin. Yeah, man, I got some body thetans attached to me after reading the comments for that last nerd video I did. Definitely need to get those BTs expelled from my person. Definitely need some auditing sessions for sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, we got Corey Cameraman's. I haven't heard from you in a while. More like Adam 12, because that's the age he likes him. Oh, no. He likes him young, does he? We got a super chat from Henry George. Set up a GoFundMe to cover Rex Viper live. No, thank you, but thank you for the $2. Miles Cruz, what do you think of the pre-stack specials of UM with Raymond Burr and Carl Malden? Personally, Burr was not bad for being the first host and all, but obviously Stack will always be the greatest. Agreed. And I mean, the soul of Unsolved Mysteries was still there. They still had the music by Gary Malkin. They still had all the shitty 80s graphics, which I love. But yeah, they were not ever going to be the guys. Once Robert Stack went in there, it was game over, dude. Game fucking over. Robert Stack is the number one. That voice, you can't beat it. You cannot beat that voice that he has. Let's see here. Reading through the comments section. Also, do you remember how Lifetime messed up the Stack episodes from NBC airings? Even as a kid, I knew the NBC episodes were superior. Yeah. Well, they kept the show going, so I mean, I liked that. But yeah, the NBC was the cream of the crop. Although the Lifetime ones did provide updates that we would not have gotten otherwise. So you gotta give it that. You gotta give it some credit for that. Snooper Smokio, you should make a movie on the failure of the AVGN movie. I vividly remember all the hype leaving my body when the trailer dropped in 2012. Yeah, that movie wasn't good. I mean, I know everyone says that, and that's like a really obvious like take, but yeah, that movie was bad. I bought it. I supported the idea of it. But yeah, like who was Cooper? Why was he needed? Who was the girl? I'm gonna say the same thing that everyone else says about the movie. Why was he working at a game store when he was supposed to be AVGN? AVGN never worked at a game store on the episodes of his show or whatever. I'm lowering the camera ever more as I slope down into my chair so you guys can see more of my body. Make you feel a little naughty. I'm mainly trying to keep my head like with proper headroom because I'm such a nut for video composition. Let's see here. What else we got? Love Unsolved Mysteries. I guess I talked about Unsolved Mysteries at some point because everyone's talking about it now. Oh, fuck. Did it just bump me from where I was? I think it did. Oh, great. Yeah, cool. It bumped me all the way to the bottom. Son of a bitch. Get me a drink. I need time to think. Let's see here. Where was I at? Fuck. Damn it. I was like on a fucking roll with the comments, and then I hit one button, and it bumps me all the way down, and now everything's just all fucked up, and I don't know where I'm at. And I'm... Okay. I think I found it. Oh, I got another super chat here. Is this from a lady? J Huck, $4.99. Love your content. You're hilarious. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I love you. It's time to wake up, says 11.2 subscribers, 220 people here. AVGN videos have double-digit million views. Someone here is butthurt. You obviously didn't grow up in the NES days. A lot of the games were just churned. Oh, which I mean, I'm guessing he means turned out. All right, so we finally got our first guy who is. I mean, that wasn't that douchebag of a comment. It kind of was. You could have done way worse. Yeah, dude. You want to know something? I started out with nothing, and through the past like 2 years, I've grown like 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers. When I would live stream back in the day, I'd have 20 people watching me. So to get where I'm at now is actually fucking awesome. Like, I never thought I'd have 235 or 2,000 or 246 as of right now, people watching me. I never thought I would have that. So honestly, like, everybody starts somewhere. And yeah, fuck you. I'm not butthurt at all. I could never talk about James Rolfe again, and it would be totally fine. I would just make videos about stuff that interests me. James happens to interest me because it was a channel I used to really like a lot. Yeah, cool Steve 77. I heard James got most of his footage from Mike S. Or Mike, is that true? Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know. I don't see why he would need to do that. Like, I don't see why he couldn't just get his own footage. Like, does it save that much time culling through Mike's database or his live streams? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Miles Cruz, speaking of Capcom, I recently purchased the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle off Nintendo eShop. I enjoy it. However, it should have included Cadillacs and Dinosaurs and Alien vs. Predator. Capcom is probably my favorite gaming company of all time, just by virtue of the fact that they gave me two of my favorite gaming franchises of all time, Resident Evil and Mega Man. I will always love Capcom. They came out with Street Fighter, bunch of other great games, Final Fight. Like, I love Capcom. Not to mention all the great, like, they developed, like, Zelda and the Minish Cap, which was a fucking great game. Why does my mouth taste like blood? That's concerning. All right, let's see here. No, I'm not a fucking Scientologist. I just find Scientology interesting. I'm not taking that book down. I love that people think that I just might be a Scientologist. That is hilarious to me. Mad Adam, it's fine to criticize nameless game devs and corporations, but do not dare you to criticize the holy Bimmy. He is just dad, hardworking. Do you want him to suffer? Love you, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. I've enjoyed, Rick75, I've enjoyed a lot of your non-AVGN content. Had a good discussion with you actually on Smashing Pumpkins. I do still enjoy Cinemassacre content, but as much as people rag on Mike, I think his leaving the channel is one of the reasons his content has gone downhill. I like your measured criticism at AVGN. Thank you. Appreciate it. What about Whitest Kids You Know? Sparty Green 420. Yeah, that was a funny show. They had that whole Abe Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth sketch that has become infamous. That shit was hilarious. Let's see. I'm trying to get to... Yeah, Age of Empires 2, man. That game's fucking awesome. Age of Mythology as well. Okay, so there's even more in there. Yeah, I got a PS5 for Christmas, and I realized I had no games for it. So as I'm waiting for Spider-Man 2 to come in the mail, I am definitely on that Age of Empires shit. Let's see. What else do we got? Everyone's talking about Rites of Spring now. I guess I need to check them out then. I have never heard of Rites of Spring. Like, and I go to a lot of like goth nights and shit like that, and they never, for my knowledge, they haven't ever played them. Sorry, I'm trying to get to these comments and get to shit that's more recent, but of course. Oh, God. Rick75, also being angry, quote unquote, is getting old. I think James just doing videos on games he enjoyed as a child have stood out as more sincere and entertaining than the faux anger. I think, like, so I'll compare it to like my podcast that I used to do on Unsolved Mysteries. After a while, we just ran out of like episodes that we were passionate about. Like when we first started our Unsolved Mysteries podcast, me and my co-host Mike, who has his own YouTube channel called OCP Communications. He's like big time movie guy, critic, whatever. We were super passionate to talk about like our favorite Unsolved Mysteries episodes. And it just got to a certain point to where it was like, there's nothing left to say. There's nothing left to talk about because we went through all the shit that we loved, and we were scraping the bottom of the barrel for episodes to talk about, so we'd have to start talking about inferior episodes that we weren't nearly as passionate to talk about. And so yeah, it got to the point to where it's like, well, it seems like the logical conclusion to just put an end to this podcast because it's just taking up our valuable time. And so Thursday, today, would normally be when we would record the podcast, but now I'm streaming on my channel because I want to put more time into growing this channel, and I don't really have time to do a podcast and a band and a YouTube channel. So I'm just doing my band and I'm doing this YouTube channel, and I'm calling it a day after that. And on top of the fact that the podcast market is so oversaturated at this point. David Stanley, would Dancing with Ghosts open for Wet Diaper? That would be funny. I'm almost sure at this point that at least somebody in the Screenwave camp knows who I am, given all the videos I've done on Rex Viper that have gotten thousands of views or whatever. And I'm sure if I went to a game convention, like I would get some heat from those guys if I tried to go up and meet James, especially given my distinctive look. It's kind of hard to miss like me in a crowd. So I'm sure they would see me and be like, nah, fuck you, dude, go away. Like, we do not want to talk to you. Do not bother our cash cow Bimmy. You've hurt his feelings. Good Talk HQ Action 52 when he says this game is shitting me. That gets me still. Yeah, that's actually a really classic AVGN episode. I think the Action 52 is like pretty much universally agreed that that's one of his better episodes. You know what? I might do my top 10 favorite AVGN episodes just to put some cooling lotion on the asses of all those sad AVGN fans from my last video, because I want to prove to people, I want to let people know that I did at one point really like AVGN. Rick75, seeing your video in which you praising the Pumpkins' super underrated zeitgeist is what made me intrigued to check out more videos. People are afraid to publicly praise this great album. Why? It's so like objectively good. It's got like these, I mean, the mixing is kind of shitty, but I kind of like it. It's weird. Like the guitars are way too loud. And I don't know. It's got great hooks, great guitar lines like Doomsday Clock and Tarantula. And it's got these, I don't know, that's such a good album. Even when I first bought it in 2007, even then, knowing that, man, the Pumpkins have been broken up for like 8 years or 7 years, and how's this gonna sound? I thought it was great. Like, I thought it was I don't know why Pumpkins fans shit on that album. They're fucking ridiculous. And then they'll sit there and say Oceania was great and Zeitgeist sucks. Oceania is such a boring listen to me. It's just a fucking ocean of noise. Like, there's no fucking hooks on that album. Like, fuck that album. Zeitgeist is the clear winner. Man, Rick, you got me really fired up just then. Farmer Slide Joe Bob, hello from Germany. Guten Abend, Farmer Slow Joe Bob. Farmer Slide Joe Bob. Wie geht's? Es geht mir sehr gut. Let's see here. What have we got? Let's see. I'm looking, I'm reading. Scott still has the production value. Maria Meyer. So, okay, now we're finally getting on when I talked about Scott, the Waz. Love Scott. I don't like Scott and his style. I mean, he does kind of have this like twinkish, like boyish kind of Scott Pilgrim vibes to him that if I was like younger, maybe I'd like it. I like his stuff. I don't love it. It's okay. I don't know. And his last name's Wozniak, and you got Steve Wozniak that used to work at Apple. I'm like, is there a relation there? Because it's a very specific last name. Is Kid A your favorite Radiohead album? Chris, I don't know how to say that name, but you were on my last stream too, I believe. It's up there. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely up there. I don't know. Maybe it is my favorite. I mean, it's between OK Computer and Kid A. I know, really hot take saying OK Computer is my favorite Radiohead album, but what can I say? It's one of those albums that was critically acclaimed, and it's actually really good. Corey Cameron's, I'd never watched an AVGN vid, but the discourse about his vids amuse me. I know, the drama is almost more entertaining. I think the drama has become truly more entertaining than the actual videos themselves that James is putting out now. Manu, I got mountains of AVGN merch and every DVD and Blu-ray, which I watch with my kids at 5:40. Yeah, the jokes. All right, let me fucking get through all these ones here. All the comments. Yeah, Many Saints, VGN fan or VG fan forever says, yeah, Many Saints of Newark was a serious disappointment. All it ended up being was a retcon and a nostalgia trip. Yeah, it was definitely a retcon, for sure. To have Uncle Junior be the one who offed Chris Maltasante's dad, it's like, come on, really? Like that's how you're gonna play it. Um, yeah, I was pretty disappointed. The coolest part was literally having Michael Imperioli narrate the beginning of the movie. That was probably the best part of the Many Saints of Newark or whatever. Rose Dower TWU. Breaking Bad has a perfect arc, noticeably planned in advance. Sopranos started off great for a few years, but just ran out of ideas towards the end. I don't know. I mean, the ending, of course, was like very meta and not so great. But I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, how else were they supposed to end that show? I mean, I guess they could have shown Tony Soprano getting whacked, but I don't know. It was a bit disappointing, the ending to The Sopranos, just the cut to black. Yeah, it was troubling because you wanted the show to just keep going forever, but it was good. It's good to end things when they're at their height. I mean, that's what Jerry did with Seinfeld. Like, they wanted to do a season 10 so bad, and Jerry's like, yeah, you see how the numbers are up here? I don't ever want to see the numbers go down in this direction. So let's end while the show is at the top of the ratings, which was smart. It's something James should have done, but he's an internet guy, and it doesn't work that way if you're an internet celebrity. Tyson, I guess that's how you say it. James and John's Neighborhood Nerds is really bad. They don't have any chemistry together. I kind of agree. I don't really think that. I mean, you could throw any guy in there. Like anybody could be John. Like, it wasn't. I mean, at least James and Mike were like actually friends before the show started. Apparently, that him and John are friends too, but I don't know. VG fan forever, favorite point. I don't mean this as a counter argument, but I'm from different perspective. I'd say Breaking Bad was a little bit too exaggerated to feel real, where Sopranos had the mundanity, I think you mean minutia of everyday life. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of the scenarios in Breaking Bad couldn't have really happened in like when Walter goes to see Tuco Salamanca to get the money back or whatever, and he like throws that crystal on the ground and it like blows the whole fucking room up or whatever, shit like that. It's like, though that might be an actual like chemical compound, would that actually blow up a whole building? Probably not. Let me see here. The Russian Phase Bear. I just like that name. Bimmy seems to have this mentality that everyone will immediately understand his obscure jokes, like McButter falling and disappearing a la TMT3. Yeah, sure. I don't really have anything to say with that. Hey, DWG, this is why I like your style. You're not afraid of people disagreeing with you. No, it's fine. I don't care. Like, they can disagree with me, but it just, like, it gets old, man. The hair jokes and all that, it's just like, I don't know. It gets really old. Gustavo Fring, your band sucks too, LOL. Well, of course you're going to say that because you're dead. And because Walter or what was the fucking old fart's name in the wheelchair? Anyway, the Salamanca guy killed you, so you're dead. So your opinion isn't valid. That's a Breaking Bad reference for those of you who don't know. Okay, let's see here. Big Daddy DK, not sure if you will get this far down in the live chat. I know, right? Jesus Christ, this takes forever. Thanks for replying, and also been watching your stuff for a bit now. I see your channel blowing up, dude. Yeah, I mean, it would probably blow up if I kept covering, like, nerd shit, much like how James kept covering bad Nintendo games. It's a niche that people want to see right now, but I don't plan on doing that, and I'm not gonna, like, it would only blow up if I kept doing, like, so, all right, let's say I made a Doug Walker video. like that video, I know that video would do good because Doug Walker is in the same orbit as James and Pat and all that, and I know the Doug Walker video would do good, but I'm all that changed the channel controversy that took place so long ago, and I made videos about it back then. I know my channel was much smaller back then, so it would get more views now, but it's like I just don't want to do I don't want to retread that shit. I mean, people keep making this comment saying that Doug Walker is a sex pest, and I Googled it, and I'm not seeing anything to back that up, that there's some kind of sex controversy with Doug Walker. So, I mean, I don't know. If there's any new thing with him, I would do a video about it, but I'm not seeing, like he's kept his nose pretty clean from what I've seen. So, I mean, oh my God, did it just jump down again? What the fuck? I know this has got to be so so boring and shitty when I have to like scroll like this to. Okay, are you into lol cows? Manu says. Oh, what, like Wings of Redemption and Boogie and Dark Side Phil? Not really. I know a real life lol cow in my personal life. I love keeping up with her. She's delusional. Like, she thinks she's a pop star, and she has like 10 monthly listeners on Spotify. She's a fucking lol cow, and she doesn't know it. But that's neither here nor there, because you're not gonna know who this person is. Let's see here. Finally got to that super chat where J Huck said love the content. Their third super on a live stream. Oh, okay, it's your third super chat on the live stream. Cool. What's Olaf the Mighty? What's your game of the year for 2023? Game of the year 2023. Did Metroid Dread come out this year? It's definitely not Tears of the Kingdom. I found Tears of the Kingdom to be quite a frustrating game. Took me about 20 to 40 hours into the game to finally get the hang of the gameplay. Jeez, what was the new game that came out this year? Did Resident Evil 8 come out this year? Because if Resident Evil 8 came out in 23, then that's my game of the year. Might have come out in 22, though. Reaper Channel 90. 250 is a fucking respectable number. Lolcow with the legacy. DSP around 450, and it's his job. Dude, DSP has been around, and yeah, he's been he is a legacy lolcow, and yeah, 450. Wow, that's literally people just like watching him for the lulz. And that he's made that his whole ass personality. I definitely would not want to fall into that category. Let's see here. I really Barry, your dad. I really enjoyed the Peter Gabriel video, man. I'm happy I found you on Red Cow. Big Frankie fan, by the way. Thank you. I enjoyed making the Peter Gabriel video. That's who I really am as a person. I like good artsy music. I love Genesis. I love to talk about music. This drama stuff is not really a good representation of like my personality and who I am. Or whatever. Play Ghost of Tsushima on PS5? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Are you from Jacksonville? Yes, I am from Jacksonville, Florida. Sad to say. Now, there are worse cities out there, for sure. Worse cities than Jacksonville. But there are also way better cities that appreciate art more and that my band would probably thrive more in. But man, I'm 35. I got my roots planted too firmly in Jacksonville to just up and move. Now, if this channel blew up, I would consider that. If this became my sole means of income, I could then move much easier, but that ain't gonna happen. I don't see myself ever making a full-time living off of this YouTube channel, but it at best it will supplement my income to where I can maybe quit a few karaoke gigs and become more of a sane individual. Let's see here. Looking, reading. Kid A is mine. I think he called himself the Waz combined, blah, blah, blah. All right. I'm trying to get to more recent shit here. That's all I'm saying. More recent. My favorite album. Game Nasty. My favorite album is In Rainbows, but you could realize OK Computer as the greatest hits and nobody would know the difference. Yeah, I mean, In Rainbows, when that album first came out, Radiohead was like one of the first bands that did the whole pay what you can afford business model. When they came out with that album, you could get it online and you could literally pay 1 penny for the album, and they would you could download it, or you could pay $50. And they apparently made a lot of money off of that album. They were one of the first bands that did it. I felt the recording of In Rainbows was dry. Like the drums were, I didn't like how the drums were recorded on that album. The drums were very dry, and they didn't have, like, they sounded like, I don't know, I felt like they sounded like the recording bothered me at the time, the production of that album. I never liked In Rainbows as much as everyone else did. Everyone else was a huge fan about when that album came out, and I never, I don't know. Okay, so Alex Ackle says 190 people watching, 130 likes. Good, but can we double check if we all left a like, pretty please? Yeah, if you guys would like this video, that would be great. I guess it helps, like, show it to more people or something. Man, did it just jump again? Motherfucker. Now I gotta go all the way up. If I can. Okay. Now I'm lost. Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna roll with wherever I'm at here. Ollivander, did you ever do a podcast about the Circleville letters? Yes, I did. If you go to SoundCloud, or we're on Spotify too, but you go to SoundCloud, you look up Uncovering Unexplained Mysteries. We did do an episode on the Circleville letters. Man, what a weird episode that was of Unsolved Mysteries. Weird case too. It stuck with me when the mom in the school bus went to open up that what looked like a mailbox or a bird box or something, and there was a gun in it, and it was a trap, but the trap didn't work, and it would have shot her. Like, that was creepy. Then the guy that they thought was the Circleville letter writer, like, he went to jail, and then he was still getting letters from the guy. That was a weird one, man. Let's see here. Oceania is great. Jordan Vale, I disagree. Oh, you like Moments as well, Jordan Vile, or what? You like Moments to an Elegy or whatever it's called? That album was garbage. There was no good songs on that album. Like, that shit was so bland. Everything Billy Corgan has done, I'll give Oceania a little bit of a pass, but everything after Oceania has just been complete garbage from Billy Corgan in the Pumpkins camp. Let's see here. Simon, Hail to the Thief is a seriously underrated album. I agree. I think Hail to the Thief is a great Radiohead album. My favorite album is In Rainbows, but you could realize, okay. All right. Now I get it. Now I know where I'm at. Jesus Christ. You should call this the incompetence stream. Have I finally got to the bottom? Let's get down to business and defeat the Huns. Aphidness of the Universe. State of Channel Awesome in 2024. Channel Awesome. Oh, God. That means I'd have to watch all of his fucking movie reviews, which is something that does not appeal to me whatsoever. Yeah, like I said, if more shit came out about, would you ever make a video about Nostalgia Critic's review of The Wall? Probably. I think I have that as an idea, Boots the Cat, in my phone, because I love The Wall. I love The Wall as an album. I love The Wall as a movie. So I definitely thought about doing that. Anthony Fantano did a review of The Wall, of Doug Walker's version of The Wall, but I don't think he leaned into it as much as I could. I could see myself doing easily like a 30-minute episode, tearing that album a new asshole, and the video review itself. And then, like, Corey Taylor from Slipknot and his son were in that video. I bet he's regretting the fuck out of that. He's probably thinking to himself, like, this is why when you make it, big, the traditional way, whether you're in a band or as an actor, this is why you don't interact with e-celebs, because they put out lackluster shit and you get swept up into it. And now Corey Taylor will forever be associated with that episode. And apparently Corey Taylor was a huge fan of Nostalgia Critic, but man, he should not have been on that episode. The remake of Resident Evil 4, yeah, that one did come out this year, and it was really good, but it was a remake, even though there was a lot of new stuff in there. But I don't know. I would rather give Game of the Year to like a new game instead of like a remake. I'll try to start blowing the vape out of the side of my mouth so you don't feel like I'm blowing it right in your face, unless that's what you're into. Then I might do it. Corey Cameron's on the Doug Walker sex pest thing. People are misconstruing the sexual harassment allegations at Channel Awesome as it being Doug Walker when he hasn't accused anything other than ignoring it. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I multiple people are talking about this whole Doug Walker sex pest thing. That was Juorio. Juorio was the sexual offender guy. That wasn't Doug Walker. I've never heard anything about Doug Walker being a sex offender of any kind. Chris Munn, however I say that. Have you ever gone to Fest in Gainesville? I've never gone to Fest. I would love to play Fest, but the people who run Fest, like, you kind of have to know them. It's like the Good Old Boy Network thing. Like, you kind of have to know those guys, and you kind of have to have a connection, you know? Because I know bands that are way less successful than us who have gotten to play Fest, and we just can't seem to get involved in it. So if you or anybody that you know heads that up, this is a festival in Gainesville, Florida. It's completely this is relevant to approximately 0.1% of the chat right now. You like the Pixies? Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't love the Pixies, but I like the Pixies. Favorite Rush albums? Gardetto Jones. Favorite Rush albums? All right, let me just try to go off the top of my head here. Signals, Power Windows, Counterparts. I gotta pick something from the 70s. I didn't love a lot of their 70s stuff though. Yeah, that would be it. I mean, if we're talking favorite, I would say Moving Pictures, but honestly, classic rock radio has kind of burned me out on Moving Pictures. But yeah, it'd have to be Signals, Power Windows. Oh, Grace Under Pressure. Signals, Power Windows, Grace Under Pressure. Just a lot of their 80s shit, honestly. And then 93's Counterparts. Counterparts is that was such the right move for them to transition into the 90s in a cool way. So yeah. Let's see here. Home of Limp Bizkit, yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. Unfortunately, that gets brought up a lot. All right, yeah, I know. I see the watchers dropping out now. It's because because I'm having such a tough time like keeping up with all these comments here. I'm sorry. That's cool though. It can become a more intimate setting. That's fine with me. All right, we got a good one here. I think we'll see. Yeah, Dad, what's your take on Dream Theater? I was introduced to them from History of Trunks soundtrack because I'm a fucking nerd and went down the rabbit hole with that band. Yeah, Dream Theater. So on paper, I should love Dream Theater because they do a lot of weird time signatures. The guitar riffs are heavy. There's synthesizer in there. The singer has this high tenor vocal, much like the early prog bands like John Anderson from Yes or Geddy Lee. Yet I find myself not really liking Dream Theater. I think they are too much of an amalgamation of other prog bands that have come before them, and they're not really doing anything super new. It's very like look at me kind of music. It's very showy, but not necessarily tasteful. It's very like, look how good I am at guitar, look how good I am at drums, look how good I am at bass guitar, but they're not doing it it's like they're putting the musicianship before the songwriting. And I feel like Rush always put the songwriting before the musicianship. Same with Genesis. Genesis was like half and half because they definitely wanked around a lot too. But, I mean, Tony Banks, the stuff he did on keyboard was so fucking cool. You couldn't deny it. Weird Beatnik says, what do you think of garage rock from the 2000s and more into late 60s garage, but I do think the early 2000s garage movement had some good songs. I never cared for that kind of stuff, like the Strokes and the Vines and all that, White Stripes, all the bands. Like, that was such a weird time in music. Never cared for it. So Corey Taylor and Doug Walker's The Wall actually makes sense nowadays. How? I don't think he should have been in that episode. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Scrolling right along. Jesse Moss, what strain are you vaping? This is 1.2% nicotine, strawberry kiwi flavor. There's this place called New Leaf in Jacksonville. It's their own house blend. It tastes all right. They used to make a strawberry or pink lemonade, this company called Element, and then they stopped making it, which kind of like bummed me out because it was really tart and it was delicious. And it kind of like freaked me out that that they stopped making it because I'm like, oh shit, was there something wrong with it? Was I smoking something that had some fucked up ingredient in it that's going to harm me in some way? Deadbeat Boy, Fest is dope festival, got some great bands there, mostly punk. Yeah, that's another thing about Fest in Gainesville is like it does mainly cater to a genre that I don't feel like our band really fits into. So there's like that part of it. Yeah. And yes, the synth era of Rush is my favorite. I've said this many times. The synth era of Rush is my favorite period for Rush. Grace Under Pressure is criminally underrated. I agree. After Image, The Enemy Within, Between the Wheels, Kid Gloves, just all great songs. Distant Early Warning. Where is he reading these questions from? Is he streaming on Twitch too? No, I'm just streaming on YouTube, but I have so many people leaving comments that like it's like whenever you see a star, like it's actually dead and the light takes so long to get to Earth that it still appears to be there. That's how I am with these comments. I will make a comment and then I won't actually get to you guys' response to the comment like until like 20 minutes later. Guys, I can't help it that I'm popular and a lot of people like leaving fucking comments, okay? Ooh, I gotta respond on this one. Brandon Carl, even Roll the Bones is rock solid. Roll the Bones was their attempt at stepping into the 90s. Like they did that famous rap part on Roll the Bones. They had these like little like radio filter effects. Like I forget, Where's My Thing might have been it. I don't know. It's definitely got some good songs in there, like Ghost of a Chance, Dreamline. Those are the only two that are coming to me right now. Oh, by the way, if you like Roll the Bones, this is a 45 single from Roll the Bones, Ghost of a Chance, and Dreamline. This is an import from the UK, so it's pretty cool. I have a fucking record player. I need to play this fucking thing already. It's just been on my shelf. I try to represent Rush, in all my videos, so I'll leave that in there. Soldier 22J found you through your Unsolved Mysteries and shitting on those paranormal shows. Oh, really? You did? Damn, dude. Shitting on the paranormal shows. That's an old video of mine. Love your reviews on Pink Floyd albums. Money. Your Roger Waters old man impression kills. That's how he says it. It's so fucking cringy. Money. After watching the comment section of the angry video game nerd video I made, it gave me a very Patmosian response. What does Patmosian mean? Never mind. Sorry, only the people who watched the Pink Floyd review would get what I just did there. The fact that you watched me shitting on those paranormal shows, dude, like, I put so much work into... I've been doing this channel for a long time, guys. And I put so much effort into my old videos. You guys would be doing me a personal favor to scroll back a couple of years and watch some of my old videos. I do so many different videos. You will find something that pertains to an interest that you have. Because I threw so much spaghetti at the wall in all these years I've been doing YouTube. If you just found out about me or whatever, please go back and watch some of my old videos. Like I put so much work into so many of them, and they got 3-digit views. You know, they got 500 views, 800 views. Like, it's sad, man, that how much time I put into my shit and how little people watched it back in the day. I mean, we can even do a little thing. Let's do a little experiment right now. Let me utilize my OBS and do something new here. All right, let's go to my channel. Let's do this little experiment here. Okay, so is it gonna work? It didn't work when I was first trying it out. All right, let me scroll down, bitch. Yeah, OBS fucking sucks. Scroll down. It's not gonna do it, is it? Is my audio? Yeah, my audio is still working. Let's try it again. Browser, interact. Oh my god, piece of shit. All right, anyway, I was gonna show you guys about how much my views to all my other videos went up when I started covering like the James shit and Rex Viper. It's like the water brings all the ships up at the same time, that saying, however that goes. So now when I do a video of something I want to do, it gets more views than it would have, thanks to the fact that I did those Rex Viper videos. I've done the AVGN videos. Now my other crap gets watched as well. So anyway, all that to say, I put a lot of work in my old fucking videos, and I think you guys would really like them. I talk about TV shows, album reviews, whatever. So anyway, Rush deep cuts rule. Yeah, they do in fact. Alan, the whole Limp Bizkit meme thing aside, how do you rate Wes Borland as a guitarist? I think Wes Borland is fucking phenomenal. I think he and Tom Morello are two of some of the most innovative guitar players of our time when it comes to playing outside of the box on guitar. I mean, if you listen to Wes Borland's riff, even on Nookie at the beginning of the song, he's doing this weird slide tap thing. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Wes Borland comes up with is so innovative, and unfortunately it gets overshadowed by fucking Fred Durst, shitty ass. I wish they would come out with a Limp Bizkit album that's just the instrumentals and not any of Fred Durst's vocals. That would be great. That would be fucking great. Okay, let me try to move down here with the quickness. Biolithic, do you like the Rush song Limelight now that you are in the limelight? Yeah, bro, I can relate so much harder now that I'm famous. Haven't listened to any Rush past Power Windows. Really? Damn, that's weird. Why not? They have some listenable stuff past Power Windows. Super chat. Bottom barrel budget. Something. It's cutting your name off here. Disagree on AVGN overall, but you're still great. LOL. Thank you very much. I'm going to heart react that. Sean, Cursory Mercenary. Sean from Perth, Australia. Still enjoying your old podcast from Uncovering Unexplained Mysteries. Any updates from Mike lately? Keep up the cool content. Cheers. Last time I talked to my co-host Mike from the old podcast we used to do, he had plans in 2024 to do more edited content, because I think Mike realizes that the old school way of reviewing movies, where you just sit in front of your webcam and talk about the movie and not have any kind of visual or anything, you're just basically breaking down the movie like very in depth for like an hour. I think he's realizing that that's a very old school way of reviewing movies, so I think he's trying to do something that's more modern, like with more highly edited kind of stuff. But yeah, he's still doing his YouTube channel, and like I don't have a plan to do a podcast anytime soon, so I don't see us coming back. I mean, we talked about coming back with like a pop culture based podcast, but I honestly, not just in the words of Bimmy, I just don't have the time. So, all right, let's see what Jordan Vale's top 5 Floyd albums are. Number 1, Animals. Agree. Number 2, Final Cut. I would not have agreed with that a couple years ago, but I just gave it a chance like last year. Yes, The Final Cut is a fantastic album. I agree with you on that. Number 3, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Hard disagree there. Not into any of the Syd Barrett stuff. I'm sorry. 4, Dark Side of the Moon. 5, Metal. No, Wish You Were Here. No, The Wall. That's interesting. Okay. That's your opinion, man. Deadbeat Boy, what do you think of Riot Fest? Do you think your band could play there? Riot Fest. Which one's that one? You'll have to remind me. Corey Cameraman's. Those Supernatural shows are a plague on cable secondary channels. They just keep making them. They are so many psychic PI ghost chase. Yeah, those shows really are just awful. Like low budget. Probably gets decent ratings. Probably very cheap to make. The video that I made where I like shit on all those ghost shows like Ghost Adventurers and Ghost Hunters and all those kind of shows. Paranormal Witness, which is more of a scripted thing or whatever. Yeah, all those shows, they just, I don't know, it's like common denominator, like low effort on the unscripted ones, and the scripted ones were just like cheap throwaway stuff. That video actually got demonetized as fuck I don't know when it happened, but I went back and looked, because when I was doing the AVGN State of Cinemassacre 2023 video and they did the whole season 1 censored, I went back and I was like, well, did my videos get censored or demonetized? And not a lot of them, but some of them did get demonetized because of the content of I did a video about webcam girls. That was like the 3rd or 4th video I ever made. And that one got demonetized due to the content. And yeah, I actually interviewed a former cam girl in that video. I put her in silhouette because she didn't want her identity to be revealed. And she talks about some pretty hardcore shit. So if you want to go watch that video, it's still up. You're going to have to scroll back a ways, but it's there. It was an interesting watch. All right, what else do we got in here? Thoughts on, okay, here's one. Snowblind. Thoughts on Marilyn Manson. I really like Antichrist Superstar because Trent Reznor produced it. Yeah, I tried giving Marilyn Manson a listen. I was not allowed to listen to him growing up. I had a very Christian upbringing, and Marilyn Manson was verboten for sure. But my dad would not allow me to listen to him. I think he's all right. I need to sit down and really listen to one of his albums one of these days. I like the hits. I think he's got a really good rock voice. He always does that double effect on his voice where it has that almost slapback room sound to it, which is very trademark Marilyn Manson vocal sound. I think that's cool that he found this trademark vocal sound that he always does. What else do we got? Biolithic, you said I like Test for Echo. Test for Echo, half the album was good, half the album sucks. Almost like the song Half the World. Half the world sings, while half the world does it anyway. You know, a song off the album. Yeah, half that album sucks. Dude, what do you think about that song? It's about the internet. I forget the name of the song, but he's literally throwing out some of the most cliche retired terms. He's talking about the information superhighway, cyberspace, all this stuff. That song did not age well. I get that Neil wants to write about the internet, but Jesus, that was pretty cringy looking back. Yep, we got another comment here. It's doing a video on Corey Feldman's band. I've got it in the hopper. I will do that eventually for sure. I will review the band, Corey Feldman. I listened to Corey Feldman's autobiography. It's pretty interesting to listen to. I'd check it out if I were you. Also, have you returned back to Autumn by the Pumpkins? That was the video that introduced me to you. What's your favorite Pumpkin song? No, I haven't gone back. I think I tried at one point to go back and listen to Autumn, and they're not good. They're like I said, there's probably like 7 or 8 good songs across the entire 3 albums, and those are like the rock-based ones. My favorite Pumpkin song off the top of my head, probably Mayonnaise, or some song off of Adore. I'd have to refresh my memory. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, Virtuality. Yeah, that's the name of the song. The Rush song where he talks about the internet. Thoughts, Cursor Mercenary. Thoughts on Maneskin. I think they're really cool. I don't like them. My singer Ari really likes them, but I don't like them that much. They're really gimmicky on their social medias, which I know you have to be, but like on their Instagram, like they're really like out there sexually, and it's just like I don't like stuff that's super gimmicky like that. And that I wanna be a slave, I wanna be a master. I was like, I don't know, not my cup of tea, but it's cool if you like it. I think I finally got to the fucking bottom of the comments. Oh my god, finally. Brian M, some channel downfalls are harder than others. Kieran claimed the channel is still pulling down 16 grand a month. I doubt James will ever end up like Boogie 29. No, well, James is not a fucking idiot like Boogie 2988 is. Boogie 2988 is a fucking embarrassment. James will never end up that bad. Your Dad, Welcome to the Internet by Bo Burnham is great. Yeah, Bo Burnham apparently put out this fire, amazing album. I haven't given it a listen yet, but I guess I'll give it a chance here at some point. The dude blew up when he was like 19 as a stand-up, and then he like went into, I guess, doing music stuff, and I don't know. He's like all prolific and shit. Do you think it takes forever for Bimmy to clean a bathroom? Probably. He probably gets very stressed out by it. He probably gets overwhelmed at the thought of having to do something like clean a bathroom. Oh, yeah, Simon Matthew, Through the Eyes of Ruby, masterpiece. I agree. That is a masterpiece Pumpkin song off of their second disc of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Definitely agree. It is a masterpiece song. Great song. Alan, Eurovision trash, talking about Måneskin. Eurovision obnoxious. Apparently the chat is not a huge they're not big Måneskin fans. I just found out about you from Rex Viper Reviews. Funny stuff. Good. I'm glad you found out about me from anyway. BR, Soma is the best Pumpkin song. Soma is a great song. I would not argue with you if you want to say it's the best Pumpkin song. That is a fantastic song. I mean, Siamese Dream is kind of the perfect album. Is there a bad song on Siamese Dream? I don't think there is. Man, just I miss that fucking time in music, like that sound. And there was like, but you know, there is kind of some rose-colored glasses going on with 90s alternative rock. So we've got Nirvana, we've got Smashing Pumpkins, we've got Soundgarden, we've got Alice in chains, we've got all the Toadies. We have those bands that have that great alternative rock sound. They all have classic alternative rock albums. But here's the thing. I've been rewatching. Someone made a YouTube playlist of a bunch of Beavis and Butthead videos where they're just reacting to music videos of the time. And I'll throw it on when I run on the treadmill. And here's what I've learned about the 90s alternative rock scene that a lot of people have forgot, a lot of people who weren't around during that time. I was alive during that time, but I wasn't around coherently listening to music. Maybe some of you in the chat were. From watching these Beavis and Butthead reaction videos, there was so much bad 90s alternative music. There were so many bands that had one song on MTV, and then you never heard of them again. And rightfully so, because they were all clones of more successful bands. And I I feel like all those shitty bands kind of killed off alt rock because it got so over inundated with lackluster music that the good bands that stood out, like some of them got drowned. There was a lot of underrated 90s alt bands that don't get the praise that they deserve. But it's really only the cream of the crop that we look back on when we think of 90s alternative rock and think, oh, it was so much better back then. Really, though, in all honesty, it wasn't necessarily better. We're only cherry picking the best bands of that period. And because there was so much garbage bands with so much 90s alternative cliches in their music videos, this fake sense of depth and sadness or just like irony. There was just so much bad stuff back then. So I kind of see why the music industry got so tired of that 90s cliche bullshit that they just killed it and radio stopped playing it because they had their time in the sun for a really long time and it just got oversaturated. Let's see. Have you seen any segments lately that you never saw before? No, not lately. I've been kind of taking a break from watching Unsolved Mysteries. Have you ever heard of the band Crash Test Dummies? Yes, I have, Alan. They have the one good song, and I think we all know what that is. Mm-hmm. The music video for that song was incredible. I loved that song and video as a kid. Rocket is the best song ever, Pink Pools. I disagree. It's a good song, but not the best one. I love his guitar tone in that song. I think that's the peak Big Muff stomp box period. Made the pedal Big Muff by Electro Harmonics. That gave him his Siamese Dream sound. It was very much gave it that Siamese. Anyway, I'm fucking rambling. Brandon Carl, Rush's "Stick It Out" was one of the songs views, and yeah, I know they reacted to it, and I don't think they reacted favorably. With that being said, Rush did okay. So Counterparts, it's taken out of the context of the 90s alternative scene. Counterparts is a great album, heavy album, all that. But when you had "Stick It Out" in rotation, right up back to back with like the new cool young bands. At that point, Rush just looked like a bunch of old farts that were trying to rock out with the kids. That was the optics of couching a Rush song where they were sounding alternative and couching that in between newer, younger, hipper bands. Obviously, Rush stood the test of time, and that's a great album, that's a great song. But in the context of the early 90s, Rush couldn't have looked more uncool at that particular moment. Rush have never looked cool, but like they're cool just because of how badass they are. But yeah, I remember Beavis and Butthead not particularly loving that song or whatever. Although I'm sure Mike Judge is probably a Rush fan. Craig Homer, Billy Corgan seems like a bit of a tool. Oh, I'm sure he's a complete douchebag. I would like to meet him, but I'm sure he's a dick, and I'm sure he like thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. But what can I say? The guy's made some brilliant art. Yanks, remember 9 Days? You mean this is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world, and though she looks so sad in photographs, I absolutely love her when she smiled. Yeah, I like to call bands like 9 Days, that is minivan rock. That's Train, bands like Train, bands like Matchbox 20, total dad, or not dad rock, that's minivan rock. That's mom is picking up the kids in the minivan and just loves that, like that's her shit. That's her favorite stuff, is bands like 9 Days. Biolithic, right? Like the movie Singles about a fictitious grunge band from Seattle which were going nowhere. Yeah, though that movie was capitalizing on that movement at the time. Yeah, it's got a great soundtrack, but yeah, I tried watching that movie and I was just like, woof, This is aged like a fine milk. Um, there was a lot of bands that tried so hard to be the next Nirvana or Cranberries back then. Yeah, exactly. And it was it got oversaturated and it became a cliche and it became lame. And that's why when Korn and Limp Bizkit came out and all that, it was like, it's like, okay, we've had enough of the ironic, moody guy with the nose ring. I know that's rich coming from a guy with a nose ring, but now we want something different. And Korn and Limp Bizkit to me were more like fiction bands. They were playing a part because grunge was so real and like in your face, and people liked that, and it was refreshing for a time, especially coming off the back of that 80s hair metal bullshit. But I think people got tired of the real, kind of like sad, morose kind of guy, and they wanted to more of a fictitious, heavier thing. And Korn and Limp Bizkit, to me, Limp Bizkit was the fun party heavy band, and Korn was the dark, brooding heavy band with that also was fusing rap music, which became more and more undeniable as the decade carried on. You just couldn't deny rap, that it was blowing up. It was getting more mainstream. The production value on rap music was getting a lot better. And to have a rock band truly incorporate hip-hop sensibilities with heavy riffs, at the time, that was new and that was fresh and that was hot. I mean, I remember seeing the video for Freak on a Leash and hearing the song. It was the same reaction I had when I saw Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana earlier that decade. I saw that video, I heard the song, and it was like, here's the next thing. This is going to be the next thing. This is going to be the next band that everyone's ripping off. You could just feel it. There was something in that song. There was an energy. It was like completely new, completely different, and it was a breath of fresh air. And then like everything else, it got stale as fuck. And then Fall Out Boy released the video and song Sugar We're Going Down, and it was like, then My Chemical Romance came out with Helena and the music video for that, and it's like, okay, whatever this is the new thing. And that's when they kind of lost me, because it was like happy whiny. I don't know. I can't explain why I don't like emo. I'm sure I could do a more in-depth video about it if I sat down and collected my thoughts better. Deadbeat Boy, someone I know said the 90s were a shit decade for music. I'm like, what? Yeah. What the fuck you 90s was a great decade for movies and music, like and video games. We had all the best media in the 90s. What are you talking about? I would say the 2000s were a shit time for most music, movies, and video games. Maybe not video games. No, I take it back on the video games thing. But from 2000 to like 2009, that was like a shit time for music and movies, I would say, because the CGI in the movies was there. It was like clunky, and like those first few Spider-Man movies didn't age well at all. Like first Spider-Man's a real guy on top of a building, and then as soon as he jumps off, he turns into this wobbly, bright CGI glob. And then the music was just all like, it was all like the garage rock revival of the Strokes, the White Stripes, the Vines, the Hives, and then it became emo, which totally was not a genre that I was interested in at all. I do think 2000, by like late 2000s going into like 2010 to like 2015, the reemergence of indie rock, that was a great revival for music to me. Groups like Arcade Fire, MGMT, Foster the People, groups like that I really liked a lot. Brought more synth back into it. Anyway, I'm rambling. All right, let's go. What do we got here? That creamy sound. You said creamy. Man, it feels good to not talk for like 20 seconds. I've just been yapping this whole time. Yapping to the captain. And I'm getting hungry again, and you guys know what that means. Dude, how can you phonetically spell out how to say your fucking name? Chris Mahinte? Because I'm having trouble with that, and it's making me spurg out here. What band do you hate? Oh, that's easy for me to talk about shit I hate. What band do I hate? Maybe we could narrow that down and be like, what band do I hate in the grunge genre, in the nu metal genre, in the emo genre? Like, let's narrow that down a little bit. It's a little too broad for me to come up with a good thing for. Okay, all right, let's see here. Damn, the fucking comments have gotten away from me again. Damn it. Damn it, Janet. What was with that Smashing Pumpkins playing at the Disney Christmas Parade last year? Such a weird choice. Did they do that? I have not heard of that. Brandon Carl, thoughts on Collective Soul? Okay, Collective Soul is an example of one of those bands that they had just enough of that grunge aura or patina to them, but at the end of the day, they wrote pop rock. And that's why they got as big as they did. That they were what's referred to as post-grunge, and all those bands were like radio darlings. They were pre-packaged kind of bands that would play well on modern rock radio. I can run down a fucking list. You got the Gin Blossoms, you got Soul Asylum, Collective Soul, Candlebox to a certain degree. All those bands were post-grunge, completely manufactured for like radio play kind of bands. Never cared for any of them. I like their singles, but I just don't think they had the depth. I don't like a lot of post-grunge at all. Like, what's that band? They did that song Touch, Burn, and Peel. Days of the New. I finally found a reason. I don't need an excuse. I got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. Oh! Creed was a post-grunge band. Nickelback was a post-grunge band. Yeah. What do you prefer, 80s cock rock or 90s 2000s butt rock? Dude, I'll take butt rock all day over cock rock. I hate butt or cock rock. Not a huge fan of butt rock, but I'll take that. I grew up on butt rock, so at least there's some nostalgia value there. Yes, please do proliferate the term minivan rock. I think everyone needs to start calling it that. Todd in the Shadows came up with it, so give him all the credit, but I am going to perpetuate it. Tyson, I love the Nirvana Unplugged show. Yeah, classic. But what's even more classic is the Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged show. You should check that one out. The harmonies between Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley are fucking impeccable. Let me see here. L7 had the greatest thick grunge guitar sound. I only know Pretend That We're Dead thanks to Rock Band, the video game, so you can call me a poser if you want. Let's see, what do we got? My hands are like shaking because I'm like hungry. And because I'm an alcoholic and I'm having alcohol withdrawals. Let me just be real for a second. David, did my Roger Waters voice give you a Pat Mosian response? If it did, I'm sorry. I like how the conversation has turned to music. This is like a wheelhouse I can actually live in for a while. Miles Cruz, I have a bet that only the decent music from the 2010s, 2020s will be remembered. And hopefully all the crappy mumble trap music will be... trap and rap music, like, or especially that trap shit. Dude, that shit is relevant for a year, and then it's already, like, irrelevant and forgotten about. Like, yeah, that shit will... They'll be like... They'll pick one guy from the trap music genre when that was popular. They'll pick one guy to remember... And all those other jokers will just be completely forgotten. Yeah, that music is such throwaway music. Fall Out Boy, I'm sorry, but I've always hated them. Yeah, me too. I'm not a Fall Out Boy fan. I think Patrick Stump has a really cool sounding voice. But, yeah, I never cared for him at all. He thought he was so clever, Pete Wentz, with his fucking lyrics. And those stupid long song titles. Them and Panic at the fucking Disco. And a lot of other emo bands did that shit too. Those stupid long song titles. Like, what was the point in that? Was that their way of like bucking the old traditional kind of like bands that came before them, who had like most like new metal bands had like freakishly short titles. They'd be like one-word titles. And it was their way of being like, we're not your grandfather's rock band, man. We're going to have stupidly long titles that you can't remember. And that's like, I don't know. It's like, did you think that was clever? Because it was really more annoying than anything. I'm reporting you to the Sea Org for disrespectful comments towards Xeno. Please don't, man. I don't want to spend any more time in the hole than I already have. I don't want them to pour a bucket of cold ice water over my head and play musical chairs. 90s was also the best time for wrestling in The Simpsons. I cannot argue with you there. You are absolutely correct. Simpsons, I think they had like 8 good seasons. I'm not a huge fan of like their first 2 seasons. The animation's still a little rough, but like season 3 to like season 10. Okay, so like 7 good seasons. No, that's 8. Or I don't know. I think they had like 8 good seasons, and then everything else after that, you could cherry pick a good one here and there. But I don't know, man. The writers just fucking shit the bed. I found that some of my favorite Simpsons episodes were ones that John Swartzwelder wrote. Those tend to be my favorite ones that were out there. All right, what else we got? 90s was so good for drugs. I wouldn't know, man. I never done the drugs. Silver Sun Pickups, that's another great band. I like the dude's voice. When I first found out the guy from Silver Sun Pickups was actually a guy and not a chick, blew my mind. Josh Toten, oh, I love MCR. A lot of people like My Chemical Romance. I mean, you are in the minority if you say you don't like My Chemical Romance. I get that, and I'm okay with that. I don't know, man. There's something about their music that never really got to me. Thoughts on Alice in Chains? They're one of my favorite bands of all time. What is the worst emo band? My vote is for Say Anything. Oh God, Say Anything is so bad. So bad with they're trying to be, they're like the Weird Al of emo. Like they're trying to be like funny but serious at the same time. Say the worst emo band. Worst emo band in my opinion. I don't know. The worst one. I really don't like Panic at the Disco at all. That'd probably be the worst emo band in my book. Cause like Brandon Urie, is that the guy's name? He thinks he's so fucking clever. All those emo dudes thought they were so fucking clever with their little cutesy lyrics, and there's such a, I don't know. I can't say the word because it's, anyway, it's such a sissy time for rock music at that time. Thoughts on Cinemassacre Truth making memes on you? Have they done that? Have they made memes on me yet? I mean, that last nerd video, I think they kind of turned on me there a little bit, so it wouldn't surprise me if they had made memes on me. If they have, then send them my way. I'd be interested to see what angle they choose on making fun of me. You can just say Chris M. I don't know how to spell it phonetically. Close. Okay, that's fine. McGinty. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with Chris M. David Stanley, Snakes and Arrows is a great modern Rush album. Yeah, I think it's their last good one. Honestly, I did not like Clockwork Angels at all. And when I listened to Geddy Lee's audio book, which I highly recommend, by the way, he goes in depth about everything. The whole band was convinced that Snakes and Arrows was like the perfect record, or not Snakes and Arrows. Clockwork Angels was like the perfect record. And they were like, okay, well, we can retire now because we've made the perfect Rush album. And I'm just like, I don't think we're listening to the same record because the Clockwork Angels was just an ocean of like distortion, and Geddy Lee's voice was starting to really drop out at that point. Thoughts on Ween, a very diverse, unique catalog. Ween is one of those bands I need to listen to because they have a lot of hardcore fans. They're like they're like one of those They Might Be Giants bands. They have a lot of like underground hardcore fan bases. Why do you have tattoos all over your arms? Because I want to look cool. Duh. I might make a nostalgic critic video if some new shit comes out, but I like literally if you want to see a nostalgia critic video that I've made, just go back earlier in my channel. I've made two or three videos on nostalgia critic and all the drama involving Channel Awesome. So like just go back. Those videos already exist. And Tank Girl, or I think that's her name, she was affiliated with that guy with the glasses. She actually responded to one of my videos back in the day, which I thought was kind of cool. Oh man, I'm getting so hungry. I might be ending this stream here soon. I'm glad you like the Weird Al of emo. That's seriously. So aren't you a child of the vault that won't? I don't know. Let me see here. Trying to read all these. Yeah, I might be wrapping it up soon. David Stanley Pug. That's a great Smashing Pumpkins song. Chris Spawn. Personally, I have to disagree with 2000s having crap. A lot of bands putting out great albums. No, there were some great like in the 2000s, like Arcade Fire put out Funeral in 2007. In Rainbows came out in 2007. Hail to the Thief came out in 2002. Smashing Pumpkins put out Zeitgeist in 2007. Damn, 2007 was a prolific fucking year for a lot of the albums I like. There were some good albums that came out in the 2000s, but there was more crap than good, I feel like. Aphidness of Universe. Any thoughts on the band Days of the New? Yeah, I already just like got done mocking them a little while ago. Oh, I finally found a reason. I don't need an excuse. I got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. The one to abuse. You are the one to yeah, that singing style is it sucks. That's like butt rock 101, man. Just kind of like make your jaw stiff like this. Here, sitting on a bag and a boon and a phone on me. Oh yeah. Anyway. All right, I'm guessing you've explained this, but the L. Ron Hubbard books behind you. I find Scientology. I think Scientology is a fascinating cult, so I just think it's funny. All right, guys, it is. I've given you 2 hours of some streamy goodness, and I am fucking starving, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the chat now. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me and watching and commenting and interacting. This is definitely gonna be a regular thing for me from now on. I'll probably do it every Thursday. That seems to be the day that makes the most sense. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that shit. Seriously though, if you have any takeaway, go back and like scroll back a few years to my older videos, and I think there's some shit you're really gonna like that's really entertaining that didn't get any love back in the day because I didn't have the subscriber base and the audience that I do now. So just go and check it out and give my band a listen. Dancing with Ghosts. We're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. And check us out. If you don't like the first song you hear, please give some of the other songs a listen. All of our songs sound pretty different from one another, so you're bound to find something in there you'll like. And I will see you guys next time. And yeah, I think the next video I will be doing is on Chris Gaines, or I might do Corey Feldman. I don't know. But yeah, till next time, have a good rest of your day, because it's still day.